brought to my attention that with the whole coronavirus self-quarantine, social distancing thing going on, more people are staying at home more, and so they're making more cocktails at home without going out to get them. And I realized that given that I have a bar that's known for being larger than most bars, and I tend to like a lot of variety, I'm in a great position to help folks learn what else they can make, things they can do at home, and ways to kind of spice up the drinks they're making with whatever kit they have at home. Now, personally, I'm a big believer that you should make whatever you like, and recipes are merely guidelines to give you an idea of which direction to go in. So anything I go through, if you don't like something, swap it out for something different. It's all about what you like and what you have in the house to make the kind of drink that you want to for yourself. That's who it's for. But that being said, I think having some ideas of what's out there, some more varieties that you can do, and maybe some things you can throw in that makes it a little bit spicier, a little bit more interesting, could give us some thoughts on ways that you can make your cocktail experience a little bit different, exciting, interesting, just spice up a little bit during these weeks of staying inside, or months, or whatever it happens to be. And so with that, welcome to Dan's Bar. Today we're going to be making a Vieux Carre. Now, Vieux Carre was my official drink of last year. I've kind of made an official drink each year to kind of tweak things, make it the way that I think is the best way to put it together. And so last year I decided Vieux Carre was the one to go with. We'll be going through some other ones from previous years later, but I just want to start off with one with some interesting ingredients and kind of see how it goes. So what we're going to be making is a drink called the Vieux Carre. It contains a Rye Whiskey, a Cognac, a Benedictine, and then a couple different types of bitters that are all put in a delightful little cocktail all together. So I'm going to be using a High West rye. High West is great. I've got maybe 5 or 6 of their different bottles. They've got a lot of different varieties, but they especially focus on some really, really good rye whiskeys. So what I've got here is a double rye, and we're going to be doing a 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, splash, splash, splash. And I get a hand little mixer that has the lines right on the top there, so you can see exactly how much you're pouring. Oh, and don't forget, got a little cocktail shaker full of our hard water croutons. Gotta have that ice there to make sure everything is cold. Now I only have the bottom part of the shaker at this point in time because I don't really want to shake it and get the ice pieces up in the drink because that's going to give it more of a cloudy look. Today we're going to be using our super fancy long spoon that's way longer than necessary just to give us a little bit of coldness throughout the drink without having any impact on the color. Now that just broke the cork on the top of that bottle of cognac, so instead I'm going to swap it out for a different one. And we're back. Fear not, there's always another bottle you can use somewhere else in the house. So what we have here is a Napoleon Cognac from probably a long time ago. It's an old bottle, but so we're going to go ahead and throw that in, another 1 ounce of the Cognac. The other bottle that I had was actually an Armagnac, and Armagnac is more of a single malt is to a blended scotch as an Armagnac is to a cognac in general. It's got a little bit more of a distinctive flavor, a little bit more harsh, but it also has a little bit more distinctiveness between the different types of Armagnacs that are out there, so you can kind of have a little bit more specialization instead of the cognacs, which, while they're all delicious, tend to be a very consistent, smooth flavor. Next one we're going with here is a Sweet Vermouth. This one's Kochi, just one I picked up a couple days ago or a week ago or something. Standard Sweet Vermouth. I don't have a whole lot of it, and so I tend to get a small bottle just to make sure that it doesn't go bad or start caking up before I use it all. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 1 ounce of that as well. Now, Benedictine is a cocktail made with a whole lot of herbs. It's similar to chartreuse, which is another green liquor. Benedictine has a little bit more sugar content, so when I take off the top here, you can see that there's a little bit of sugar right around the rim there. It gives a little bit more sweetness to the drink. It's a little bit less herbal, so there's more of a floral, kind of like it's more of like more of a fruity context to it. And we're just going to go ahead and put in a few drops of that. I tend to like Benedictine and chartreuse and all sorts of herbinesses, so I tend to bias a little bit more towards those. And as I said, make whatever you want in your cocktail. Next thing, we're just going to be doing some standard Angostura bitters. We'll do a dribble or 2 of those. And then we'll also be putting in some orange and fig bitters. This last one is purely based on whatever flavor profiles you want. This is from a crude small batch bitter place. I got a 6-pack of those for Christmas a few years back, and it's quite good because you can mix it up with different kinds of drinks. There's one that's a smoke and pepper, I think. And it really just kind of adds the ability to take a standard cocktail and make a little bit more interesting with different bitters without changing the core structure of that cocktail or any of the ingredients that are in it. So that's all we're going to be putting in. We got these 5 things we're throwing in. And we're going to be giving it a little stir in here. And once it's been nice and stirred up and cold, I'm going to get myself a nice big ice cube to make sure we have a nice cold, crisp container to pour this over. Now, because I'm very extra, I like to use not only cube ice, but also transparent ice. I've got a ice maker that it's a it's a long rectangle, then it freezes from the top down, and as it freezes, it's insulated on the outside, and so all the air bubbles are pushed down in the bottom half, so you end up with a top cube of clear ice and a bottom cube of very cloudy ice. Split it in half, you got your top cube, perfectly clear, large block of ice, just to make sure we got that nice little look right inside the glass. So now that we have our cocktail mixed up and our ice ready to go in our drink, I'm gonna go ahead and put on our color coordinating little sieve on top of our glass and pour that right in. Oh yeah, I've got the money down right here. Oh yeah, look at that. Got the nice color going on. Got to get your nice rocks glass just to make sure that it has the right appeal on top of everything else. Now, in addition to having our giant cube in our fancy stone glass, I've also got these maraschino cherries that have a little bit of cayenne and a little bit of cinnamon in them. This adds just a little bit extra on top, a little bit of flavor, a little bit of heat, and you've got the sweetness of the maraschino cherries alongside the spiciness of the cinnamon and the cayenne, just to add that little extra bit of interest on top of your already delicious cocktail. So we've got our cocktail, we've got our Vieux Carre. We'll be back with other videos to see what drinks we're going to be making next. But for now, enjoy your cocktail, and remember, tomorrow's Friday. Not that that means anything in quarantine, but hey, tomorrow's Friday anyway. Delightful. Cheers.